Hello everyone. Hi, this is Professor Vilas Anil Savan, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Forensic Science, Parul Institute of Applied Sciences, Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Welcome to e-learning. So today in this lecture, we'll be discussing about the paper, question document, and the number of paper is 11107254. So in today's lecture we'll be discussing chapter number 5, and under this chapter you will be introduced to tools, equipment and different techniques which are required for document examination. So first let's discuss about the learning outcomes. So after studying this chapter, students shall be able to understand the importance of various tools, equipment, techniques required for document examination. Students shall be able to understand the working of various tools, equipment and techniques which are required for document examinations, and also they shall be able to operate various tools, equipment, techniques which are required for document examination. So that's all about the learning outcomes for this chapter. Now let's first start with the introduction. The examination of the document in its totality needs a long array of equipment. However, for most of the situation, especially for handwriting evaluations, the following pieces of equipments are adequate, just like good quality magnifying lens, then digital single lens reflex, that is DSLR camera, then we must have a good source of light, we must have ultraviolet lamp, a poly light if possible, then X-ray film examination light box for examination of document in transmitted light. Then along with this all we must have different measurement techniques, measuring equipments. Then we must have a stereo microscope or sometimes compound microscope. We must have transparent graph plate, we must have poly light. Then we must have some sophisticated instrument just like ESDA, that is electrostatic detection apparatus, and VSC, that is video spectral comparator. Now as we know, document is a piece of written, printed or electronic matter which provides some information or evidence or that serve as an official record. It can also be defined as a record, something in written, photographic or other form. Example of document are legal paper, official paper, certificate, deed, form, report, chronicle, register, log, catalog, archive, etc. Whereas question document is a document whose authenticity or genuineness is in question. Documents are attacked on many grounds and for a range of reasons, but the greater part of question paper or question documents are incorporated in the subsequent classes. First is documents with question signature. Next, documents containing suspected fraudulent alterations. Thirdly, holograph documents questioned or doubtful. Next, documents suspected on the issue of their age or debt. Documents suspected on the issue of materials used in their production, and documents investigated on the questions of typewriting, that is ascertaining the source of document and determining the date of document. Then documents or writings investigated because they identify or they identity some person through handwriting, just like anonymous and disputed letter, then superscriptions, registration and miscellaneous writing. Here the most important purpose of question document examination is to take available evidence about a suspicious or questionable document by means of a variety of scientific processes and methods. Different types of tools and appliances are used for the purpose of question document examination, such as magnifier or microscope, as I said, electrostatic detection apparatus or video spectral comparator. The most significant tool of a document examiner is his or her vision. In addition to this tool, the outer tools which facilitate the examiner to see, evaluate and record more than is evident to the unaided eye. The microscope is the instrument that makes it possible to see physical evidence on documents which would otherwise remain invisible and useless. The normal unaided human eye can differentiate only 250 separate lines to the inch. This means that the small details which involve proportions or separation of less than 1 by 250th of an inch are not seen by the eye and sees them as a connected solid mass. These tools can be grouped into 6 categories, that is basic measuring tools, then magnification, or it can also be called as a magnifier or a microscope, light sources, special instruments, photography and computer. Now let's start with the basic measuring tools. So it may be a scale, a plastic or a metallic scale with subdivision of at least 0.5 mm in an inch. Then also we can use protractor for measuring the angle and micrometer for measuring the distance or width of paper. Here the basic measuring tools comprises metric rulers, calipers for fine measurement and an assortment of glass alignment plates which allow comparison and measurement of angles, height, width and spacing of handwriting and typewriting. A tool for both measurement and magnification is a graticule or a rectile, which is magnifier eyepiece containing an imprinted measurement scale which allows the examiner to precisely measure what is viewed under the microscope. In alleged forgeries, it often becomes necessary to investigate the question of identity in size, proportions and position of the various parts of an alleged model signature and of one or more traced imitations, particularly as component of the initial investigation in such a case, or for final use of illustrating testimony. It is very important to make definite measurement of the various parts to be compared in order to show certain exact identities, which may in combination be very strong evidence of forgery. For all such surface measurement, finely graduated glass tube are best. With them, more accurate measurements are made because the graduations are brought into real contact with the parts to be measured, as cannot be done with the ordinary opaque rule. A convenient and accurate form of this kind of measure is a 4-inch rule graduated in 8th, 16th, 32nd and 64th of an inch. This arrangement permits measurement from any point up to 4 inches into the finely graduated field, and for numerous purposes is more convenient than a scale marked throughout with the finest graduation. With such a scale, it is possible for any on glass graduated in 2/56th of inch one with average eyesight to measure accurately up to its finest graduations, and the great advantage of glass rule over an ordinary measure can only be appreciated by actual evaluation of the two. This measure is very useful in typewriting technique or typewriting inquiries or any investigation in which it becomes essential to show actual but minute differences or similarities. The scale can be placed over the letter or part under investigation and photographed in enlarged form. For somehow longer measurements, which are occasionally necessary, there is a steel ruler which is graduated in fourth of an inch, except that at one end a fourth inch space is graduated in hundredth of an inch. This design makes it possible to measure from any graduation up to 6 inches into the finely graduated space as with glass rule. By the use of needle pointed parallel dividers, very precise measurements are made with this scale, and for some purposes it is very helpful. Now next is the magnification, that is magnifier or microscope. So here document examiners use an extensive variety of magnification equipment. First, handheld magnifiers which enlarge the objects from 2 to 10 times, magnification powers of 2x to 10x, and also have lighting abilities as well to make brighter the field of view. To see facts more closely, there are several types of microscope, for example stereo microscope or a comparison microscope. A binocular or a stereo microscope is easy to use because, like the name implies, there are two eyepieces and the viewer focuses with both the eyes. In addition, a microscope has a third viewing tube that allows a still or video camera to be attached for through the microscope photography or videography. Digital microscope combine optics for enlargement with digital capture technology to permit the user to view the magnified image on the monitor in its place or in addition to viewing it through the microscope eyepieces. It might look as if that the more powerful the microscope in terms of magnification, the better, but for the job of handwriting examination, this is not the case. Most handwriting examination is done at powers of 10x to 50x. The subject is enlarged 10 to 50 times. When enlargement is higher, the field of vision is so narrow that the object viewed loses relevance. It is an excellent idea to start with a low power first for examining a segment of a document and then to zoom in closer to the area we want to examine. Ordinary hand magnifiers or simple microscope as adjuncts of the compound microscope are often of great assistance and should always be at hand in a court inquiry. By their use, the compound microscope can be dispensed within many investigations. A series of glasses varying in power from 2 to 20 diameters will give valuable assistance in nearly every inquiry. Glasses mounted on a fixed stand, by which means the focal distance is mechanically provided for light on the object examined when delicate color values are under examination, it is advantageous to use glasses in which the chromatic aberration has been corrected. Magnifiers of this class usually consist of two or more lenses mounted together and show no prismatic or incorrect color effects even at the margins of the field. The more powerful ones are made as small as of a 1/4 inch focus with a magnifying power of about 40 diameters, but it is very difficult for one without experience to use such a glass. The ordinary tripod stand glasses or the so-called linen testers of good quality often are very useful when both hands are to be employed, or it is enviable to shut out side light as in transmitted light examination. A watchmaker's eyeglass or a photographer's focusing glass can be used to advantage. But for general purposes, the average observer can use to best advantage a hand magnifier with a focus of about 1 inch. Accurate measurements that can be proved to be precise are of vital importance in connection with the investigation of certain phases of the subject of question documents. A great variety of questions in some cases require that numerous kind of measurements should be made as a definite basis for certain conclusions. And to avoid possible error and to reinforce testimony, it is sought after in all instances that measurements be completed so that they can be reviewed and verified by judge, referee or jury. In order to that this may be possible, the most suitable instrument must be provided. The primary purpose of any microscope is to form a magnified image of a small entity. As the image is more greatly enlarged, the concern then becomes resolution. The capability to see increasingly fine details as the magnification is increased. For most observers, the ability to see fine details of an article of evidence at a suitable magnification is sufficient. Stereo microscope is the simplest kind of microscope in terms of both assembly and utilization. The stereo microscope comprises of two compound microscopes that are allied side by side at the accurate visual angle to provide a correct stereoscopic image. The extended working distance, that is space between the specimen and objective lens, upright non-reversed image along with large field of view make this the instruments of choice for performing preliminary examination of evidence. An added benefit which results from the extended working distance and illumination by reflected light is that specimens seldom require any sample preparation. The specimen is simply positioned under the microscope and observed. The useful magnification range of stereo microscope is typically between 2.5x and about 100x. Modern stereo microscope include a number of features which increase their efficacy and simplicity of use. A preference of illuminators which provide bright field and dark field reflected fluorescence and transmitted light allow the microscopist to visualize microscopic things and features that might or else appear invisible and thus escape detection. Both photographic and video cameras are attached to record images for enclosure in a report as courtroom exhibit. Now, its advantages are many, like stereoscopic vision is preferable in various problems concerning depth, such as where an ink line crosses a fold in the paper. This instrument shows ridges and furrows, also minute indentations which cannot be seen with the ordinary microscope. The next advantage is it is simpler to use, having a tube to occupy each eye. This is mainly significant in representing evidence to others not skilled in the use of the microscope. The broad area of vision is often a discrete benefit in which a comparatively substantial section of a document can be shown. A high degree of enlargement is generally not required and is often undesirable. Next is this instrument shows the image erect or upright in its true position with respect to the viewer and not reversed or inverted as in the everyday microscope. Next advantage of this instrument is its construction provides an extended working distance between the objectives and the object under observation, which is a distinct benefit in document examination. This lens to object distance also permits wide latitude in the choice of an illuminator and in the angle of incidence of the light thrown on the object. Next advantage is its optical assembly permits a high eye point over the eyepieces and eyeglasses usually need not be removed. The next is because of the low magnifications used with reflected light, no preparation of objects such as slicing or staining is required. The object may be viewed as it is. And the last advantage of this instrument is its design allows the microscope to be moved above the object rather than the object moved under the microscope, and this feature significantly facilitates the examination of the entire feature of a document, also eliminating the danger of folding or rolling the document to accommodate it on the stage. The stereoscopic microscope is two compound microscope mounted side by side in the similar body converging towards the object, having a split optical system for each eye. Both the eyes view the same field from different angles and stereoscopic vision thus results. The convergence of the two optical system is roughly the same as the normal convergence of the eyes when reading or writing. Objective lenses are provided in matched pair and frequently there are three pairs mounted jointly in either a rotating nosepiece or drum or in a horizontal slide, which pairs may be positioned rapidly and easily to provide varying objective magnifications with the same eyepieces. Compound microscope represent a significant step up in magnification, resolution and difficulty of use from the stereo microscope. Magnifications range from 2.5x to about 100 and 1300x with an analogous increase in resolving power. Most annotations with these instruments in the forensic science laboratory are made with transmitted light, which places limitations on the specimens which are to be studied. The polarizing microscope is possibly the most useful and resourceful instruments in the hands of a trained and experienced forensic microscopist. Not only does it execute all the duties of a normal bright field microscope for the study of morphology, but it also permits explanation and measurements in plane polarized light and between crossed polar. Polarized light microscopy provides both qualitative and quantitative information which is of value in observing, identifying and comparing microscopic particles, crystals and fibers. A type of microscope that is predominantly useful in document examination is the comparison microscope. Two documents can be viewed side by side and the images can be placed so that they appear to superimpose each other. By using a different color of filter on every document, the examiner can then see a different color in those areas where the two segments being compared overlay each other. The comparison microscope is used to compare microscopic objects side by side. Although the human eye can be very good at discriminating minute differences in color and morphology, the brain has a more difficult time remembering and processing these subtle differences. This difficulty is overcome by a comparison microscope in which the images from two microscopes are seen side by side in a single field of view. Polarizing and fluorescence equipment may add to a comparison microscope which is to be used for comparisons, thereby to enhance its capabilities. The next is light sources. So here different types of light sources can be used, just like oblique light, transmitted light, IR light and UV light. So as I said, light sources can also include long and short wave ultraviolet light along with the transmitted light, infrared light and UV light. So transmitted light is simply light from the back of a document. This is most excellent provided by a light box which has a color corrected fluorescent type light bulb. The document can be laid upon the box and the light from the rear of the document makes it possible to see details not otherwise visible. Then UV light can be used for finding out the features like fluorescence of ink or fluorescence of any material which is being used for the production of document. So for that purpose UV light can be used. Even UV and IR lights are used to make a distinction between inks and papers and to reveal obliterated materials. Photography using scientific films and filter can be done in conjunction with these special lights to reveal and record information. These techniques do not always lead to answers, but they are the best initial approach because they are non-destructive methods. Then the next is state-of-art instruments, which may include electrostatic detection apparatus, that is ESDA, which can be used for deciphering the indented writings or markings. So here what really happens is, as you know, this is a one type of non-destructive techniques by using which indented writing can be deciphered. So as you are able to see this ESDA instrument here, the upper portion is the humidifying chamber in which a document can be humidified. Then this back portion is the mailer sheet, the container which is containing the mailer sheet, where a thin plastic sheet is there. Then this instrument is the corona band, which is connected to the main device by black colored wire. So by using this corona band, a charge can be generated on the mailer sheet, and this back portion is the ink collection or a toner particle collection tank. Now here let's talk about the procedure of decipherment of indentation writing by using the ESDA. Simply first you need to place your original document on the platen or at the base, and latter one on which you have to place the thin plastic sheet, that is the mailer sheet, and latter on vacuuming has to be provided. And after the vacuuming, mailer sheet has to be cut, and then corona band has to be moved on the surface of mailer sheet. So this corona band helps to generate the charge over the mailer sheet. Now due to its moving on the mailer sheet, the positive charging or positive charges will get deposited in the valleys, in the deeper portion of the mailer sheet, and later on a toner particle along with the glass beads will be applied to the mailer sheet, and this, as this toner particles are negatively charged and already there are the deposition of positive charge inside the valleys, so a negative charged powder particle will be attracted by the positive charge, and then there will be the ink deposition. So by this manner, decipherment of indentation writing or indented writing can be done. Once you are done with this, then simply you need to preserve this mailer sheet, and that mailer sheet can be stick to the photographic film paper, and later on its photography can be done. So by this manner, preservation of developed indented writing can be done. And then the next is Projectina Universal Comparison Projector. So this is used for side-by-side comparison and superimposition of two still impressions. It consists of IR image converter system and 35 mm camera adapter, and this instrument comes with two magnification ranges, that is 2.5x or 5x to 10x and 25x to 100x. Then the next is Video Spectral Comparator 1. So there are different versions of Video Spectral Comparator. So let's talk about the version 1, that is VSC 1. So this sophisticated instrument is marketed by Foster and Freeman. So this instrument can be used in bringing out the obliterated writing and chemical erasures. It incorporates light of wide wavelengths range like IR, UV and visible blue light. It consists of camera, a video monitor, light source and filters, image integrator, comparator and a video recorder. So this is a non-destructive type of technique, and because it is a non-destructive technique, your evidence or piece of paper will not get destructed. And here this Video Spectral Comparator 1 was having the filter wavelength range between 400 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and as far as magnification power is concerned, it ranges from 1x to 6x. The next is the VSC 4. So this is the improvised version of VSC 1. So it is a compact, lightweight and portable. Additional facility is IR pen torch, which is provided to study indentation marks and writing. Then there are different types of or different models of VSC, just like VSC 2000, VSC 5000, VSC 6000 and VSC 8000. So VSC 8000 is the latest model. Then there are some other equipments just like photography equipment and computer equipment. Let's have discussion about the photography equipment. The significant use of photography in document examination is for recording and presenting evidence. A critical element of the job of the document examiner is to present evidence to the parties involved in a document dispute. The examiner must be talented to state and clarify his or her opinion. The best service is given when the examiner goes with the final step of illustrating testimony with visual evidence. Photo equipment expected to include a 35 mm single lens reflex camera, digital camera, copy stand, filters, extension tubes, lenses and other items. The next is the computer equipment. As far as computer equipments are concerned, the last group, that is the computer equipment, is a new and diverse category. Beyond doubt, the computer is an indispensable aid to anyone who writes reports, runs a business and handles finances. But in document examination, there is a lot more to do with a computer. A whole new area of potential document fraud has developed around the computer. Just as the examiner one time had to switch from the study of handwriting to learn about a new machine, the typewriter, now he must gain knowledge of the computer and the output device that are associated with it. The computer is not just a cause of problem for the document examiner, it also helps in making attractive and informative exhibits. It is as well a tool in doing examination and presenting evidence. For example, scanning in documents and cautious use of image processing software offers the potential to discriminate between inks and reveal obscured writing. And apart from this, TLC apparatus can also be used for different examinations. So if your aim is to examine ink, then as for its successful separation for identification and quantification, you can go for its TLC analysis, where a thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography or gas chromatography can be used. Then fuming chamber, so this technique also useful for document analysis. Then there are some other equipments which are also useful for examining the documents. So that is reprobit. So it is just a basic stand for providing platform to put a document. It will also provide stand for camera, and it may also contain the light sources. As you can see in the image, so that image is of reprobit. So there you can see, so this is just like a study table where there is a place for light sources and the camera stand is there. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.